Hi guys, today we're starting a new series, North Node in Sagittarius. I found the craziest shirt in my closet, so that would represent Sagittarian energy. So let's go. Before we dive into each house to see what we're working with here, let's talk about your South Node in Gemini. So you guys with the South Node in Gemini, you guys are my writers, you guys are my speakers, you guys are my communicators, my salespeople, my intellectuals, my why not philosophers? People who have mastered the art of communication in all its forms, written, oral, whatever communication there is. You get the idea. You guys are great at that. You guys, nobody can out-talk a Gemini South Node unless you have Gemini planets. So Gemini energy is great. Gemini energy loves variety. It's very curious. So you inside of you, there's this innate curiosity about everything. There's you want to know about everything, and you pride yourself on knowing a little bit about everything or a lot about everything. What else? You guys, there was a lot of lifetimes where there was a lot of thinking involved, a lot of decision. A lot of gathering information. You guys are my scribes. You guys are the people, in Game of Thrones, the guy that was every kingdom had a guy that kept track of everything, of all the history and everything. That's you guys, people that dealt with information, disseminating information, collecting information, passing it down in all kinds of forms. So you're great at that. Great salespeople, great, great storytellers, great jokesters. You guys are those, great humor, great sense of humor. Nobody can pull the wool over your eyes because you guys have done that yourself in many lifetimes. So now, if we talk about the bad part, because since the Gemini is in the South Node, that means you guys kind of went to the extreme with these ideas of communication. So what do I mean by that? Gemini South Nodes, you guys are my con artists, you guys are my tricksters, you guys are my imposters, you guys are my used car salesmen, you guys are the ones that, propaganda, fake news, the yellow press, all those ideas where information was misused, it was disseminated in ways that was not honest. You guys are, let's just say it. You guys are very good at telling lies. You guys are very good at twisting the truth. You guys are, like I said, very good at, talking people into buying stuff they don't need. You're very good at manipulating people with information or withholding information. But basically, at the end of the day, and the crazy part is that you, part of you is afraid in a sense of getting tricked. Because you've done it yourself, you're very wary of people around you. And you're always kind of worried about somebody pulling the wool over your eyes. So you kind of don't really trust people that much because you're so scared that somebody's going to lie to you or somebody's going to, con you into something. So you're very cautious about that. But the beauty is that if you are attracting people like that in your life, they're here to show you parts of yourself because there is a con man inside of you. So once you accept that, then you won't attract people like that. What else? Gemini South Nodes, fun people that did a lot of thinking, did a lot of weighing, did a lot of logical. Your mind is very logical. Your mind is, Gemini can be light-hearted, but if it's in the South Node, it can also be a lot of thinking, a lot of mental, constantly the mind is racing. You can never relax. You're always thinking about this and thinking about that and thinking the worst and maybe expecting the worst. Your mind plays tricks on you because your mind is very powerful, always telling you stories. So now with North Node in Sagittarius, the beauty of it is that you need to get away from so much thinking and get into doing. Because Sagittarius doesn't think. Sagittarius just experiences. Sagittarius is the liver of life. Sagittarius doesn't hesitate. He just goes. If he needs to jump, he jumps. And then later he realizes maybe he shouldn't have done that. And that's the beauty of Sagittarian, is that he doesn't hesitate, you know. And you guys, with so many lifetimes of thinking, of always weighing options, of always collecting data, of always thinking, if I just had a little bit more information, I could make the right decision. And that always stopped you. It stopped you from living your life because you're always in your head. You guys are a lot of times in your head. There's a lot of tension in your head. And a lot of times I would say, because you're so active, because that mind's always spinning, sometimes you guys may resort to, you know, things like alcohol, drugs to kind of relax, to calm you down. Nothing wrong with that. You know, all the things that I mentioned, they're tools. They're tools to kind of help you out, because sometimes your mind is just drives you crazy. So with Sagittarius North Nodes, you guys are here to experience. You guys are here to shut your mind and just do what it is that you want to do, because your heart wants to experience. Your heart is done collecting information. Your heart is done thinking about it, pondering, analyzing. You guys love to analyze because you're so afraid to make a mistake. So with Sagittarius, you're just here to do it. You're here to experience it. You're here to find your own truth, because Gemini South Nodes, you guys have twisted the truth. You guys lied. You guys lied to a lot of people, you know, mass people in the form of propaganda or one-to-one relationships. You guys were my imposters that kind of told people what they wanted to hear. You know, the players, you know, romantically, you guys were like that. You know what to say to the other person to get them to do what you want them to do. You're brilliant at that, and you can literally, because you can talk so much about everything, you can literally drive the other person crazy, and they'll just say, okay, fuck it, I'll buy it, whatever, just stop. So so yeah, God forbid the wrong person ends up in your hands. You know, you will you do whatever you want with them, because you're good at manipulating people with your words. So yeah, so with Sagittarian, it's going to be important to find your truth. Sagittarius is not a liar. Sagittarius is very honest, sometimes too honest, but that's going to be the most important thing for you in this lifetime, is to find that truth, your inner truth, not so much from here, but from here, and follow it and act on it and speak it, you know, but speak it honestly, even sarcastically, even if it's going to upset people, you know, because you're always used to kind of smoothing things over to benefit you or to benefit the situation. And so now you're here to not be that way. You're here to kind of say, this is what I think, and this is the truth, and I don't care if I lose all of you guys. I don't care if you guys, nobody likes me, but I don't care, because I'm alive like this. You're here to be alive, because Sagittarian is a perfect example of just being alive, being in the moment, and acting on your instincts, and acting on that drive, that fire that you have within you. All right, so now let's go through the houses and see exactly kind of ideas that we are that you'll be working with in this lifetime. Okay? Okay. North Node in Sagittarius in the 6th house. All right, guys, what does that mean? So that means your South Node is in Gemini in the 12th. Anytime there's a South Node in the 12th house, whatever sign is in there shows how you sabotage yourself, shows all your subconscious ways that you sabotage your life. So if we have Gemini in the 12th, that means there's a very overactive mind. And there's a lot of tension, a lot of nervous tension, a lot of like, you can never relax. You know, you're always kind of, you know, on the surface, you may be, you know, like, yeah, I'm cool and stuff. But inside of you, there's this idea that you're never relaxed. You know, you're always on the edge. And you, because Gemini has a very active mind. Gemini is always thinking, analyzing, looking, reading, you know, it loves information. It's always gathering information and then passing it on. Like a radio. Yeah, like a radio, like a transmitter. So with Gemini in the 12th, there's a lot of that energy. Your mind's like always spinning and you're always thinking, but you're thinking so much, and you think that if you think so much, then damn it, I have everything figured out. I mean, shit, if I'm thinking so much, I should be able to just do anything I want to do, figure everything out and all. But the key here is that it's self-sabotaging, because the more you think, the more it paralyzes you. So let's say a simple decision comes up. You, a lot of times, will go into panic mode because you're like, okay, hold on, we gotta figure this out. You know, before you buy a computer or before you buy a new phone, you will read about it and make sure that you know all the specs, make sure you know all the details before you make a decision. So in your guys' case, it's very hard for you guys to make a decision, especially if it's something new. If it's something that you've done before, then you'll be like, you're probably gonna do the same thing you've done before. But if it's something new, if it's a situation that you've never dealt with, you're going to think a lot about it, and you're going to think about it because your mind, your subconscious, you know, those limiting beliefs that you have, they're going to tell you, we need more information, we need more information. You know, you'll never be satisfied with just going on a whim. You'll always think that you need to read a little bit more, listen a little bit more, study a little bit more before you can take that decision. And more than likely, because you thought so much about it, eventually you will just not take that decision. You will always take probably the safe route. And another idea could be that whatever decision you do make, you're probably not going to be satisfied with it, because right away your mind's going to say, well, we didn't consider this, and we also didn't consider this. So basically you made a mistake. So once again, the cycle continues. You know, a lot of talking yourself your way out of things, a lot of stubbornness, you know, a lot of ideas where I know better. Let's say somebody wants to give you advice, you're like, no, I got it. You know, a lot of time, because, you know, with the 12th in Gemini, there was lifetimes of solitude, but of just constantly thinking, you know, not a lot of doing, but a lot of thinking, a lot of self-analysis, a lot of breaking things apart, you know, like analyzing every action you did. And because of that, you know, that's kind of when you approach a new situation, that little thing, that little demon of yours kicks in and fucks everything up, because you're like, I'm not ready to make this decision. If it comes to a partner, let's say it's a love relationship, you'll sit there and you'll think and you'll analyze, you know, pros and cons, you know, probably different lists. Should I do this? Should I not do this? So you've had lifetimes where you kept, because of you were thinking so much, and because you were analyzing so much, and because you always felt like you needed more information to make a decision, you never made that decision. You always stopped. So you never really lived. So now with North Node in Sagittarius in the 6th, you're here to live. You know, it's the house of everyday stuff. It's the house of your health. It's the house of you know, everyday experiences. And so with Sagittarius there, you're being asked on a basic mundane level to freaking experience. When you go shopping and you use your gut feeling, because if you think so much, you know, Sagittarius is, I don't want to say intuitive, but Sagittarius is guided by their own truth. Sagittarius has this knowing. It's not intuition, but it's like this, this is what I want, and you buy it. You don't sit there and you think, well, should I get this cheese? But, you know, I read that it's not good for me, but I actually, you know, maybe this is too expensive, maybe this and this. No, with Sagittarius, whatever you see, you get, you know. You literally have to act. Not so much thinking, more acting. And when you do it, just say, fuck it, let me see what happens. That can be your motto. Let me see what happens. Because your mind will always tell you, well, remember last time you did this, we fucked up, you know, everything, you know, it was, you know, everything exploded. That kind of idea. Your mind will always talk you out of, because it's going to say, we do not have enough information. We cannot make this decision right now. And with Sagittarius in the 6th, you're being challenged to say, no, I do have enough information. As a matter of fact, I don't need information. I have this gut knowing. Sagittarius always has that feeling of like, I want this and I'm going to do it. The same thing goes with like your work. You know, you're here to interact with people. You know, you can be a great teacher. Sagittarius in the 6th, you can be a great motivational person. You know, you can be a great teacher, great, and you can do it in a very fun way. You know, you're here to get away from thinking, and you're here to get into acting out on things, taking a chance on things, taking a chance on some crazy method, taking a chance on some new approach, taking a chance on completely changing your day-to-day activities, you know, maybe changing the way you eat. Maybe, you know, like I said before, you're always wondering, you know, is this good for me? Is this healthy for me? Should I do that? Now you're just like, no, I'm just gonna do it. You know, traveling for work, getting out there and experiencing. You know, 6th house is about your workplace. So maybe changing jobs. It's okay to change jobs, because for you, you cannot be, you know, you stagnated because you thought so much, and because you overanalyzed, you were stagnating. You never really lived. So now it's okay for you to change jobs. It's okay for you to change your day-to-day approach to things. The crazier, the better. The crazier the idea is, and the more it scares you, the more it means you should do it. You're here to take risks. What else? Animals. Sixth house is also animals. I don't know, get a little buddy, get a little dog, somebody, you know, it's going to help you explore the world. You're here to get out, interact with people, and take risks, you know, take risks in your conversations with people, take risks in coming up with crazy ways to get a task done, you know, figuring out all the ways to skin a cat, you know, and trying everything, you know, for you, just do it, you know, the Nike motto, just do it, that's for you. All right, guys, so get out of your heads. Don't be afraid, because when your mind is so active and it's so, it's paralyzing, it's because it's scared. Your mind is scared because let's say you had lifetimes where mistakes were made. Maybe you didn't, maybe you took a hasty decision and everybody died, you know. So your mind is like, wait a minute, we cannot make hasty decisions again. We have to think it over. We have to analyze it. So then you got so wrapped up in that you got paralyzed. And so you can have a lot of fears, guys. You know, with 12 in Gemini, there was a lot of neurotic fears of whatever. So in your case, whatever makes you uncomfortable, whatever scares you, that's what you have to go into. And you'll see that you'll come out braver. You're here to get brave. You're here to act on a whim. You're here to be risky, not to doubt. Just do it. And I promise you, you will always land on your feet. You will never... the stories your mind is telling you will never come true. And if they do come true, you will know in that moment what to do, as long as you trust your gut feeling, because it's there. It's very powerful. So turn this off and turn this on. Okay? All right, guys, go explore. I love you. Bye.